the Everly Brothers. Problems.
Will my problems work out right or wrong? My baby don't like anything I do. My teacher seems to feel the same way too.
Thanks, guys. We'll catch them on the way up. Hey, everybody. Well, I got a curious little story for you today. The reason I chose the Everly Brothers song of Problems is because this story pertains to the relationship between me and my best friend, my cohort, Nikki, the Nixter. As you may have guessed, we have problems. We've always had problems. Because, well, she's flawed. But that's okay because I'm flawed too. And when a flawed person like Nixter or me tries having a relationship with someone who isn't flawed, it comes to problems sooner than later. Because a flawed person has days where things just aren't going right and one doesn't contain one's civility. And people that aren't accustomed to a flawed person, they never speak to you again. Don't blame them. I'm just telling you that's the way it is. Hey, whatever. I mean, they're the ones that have to go through their life. And so, another thing about flawed people is they're drawn to other flawed people. Like in relationships, you will find a flawed person in a relationship that an unflawed person just couldn't understand. Why do you put up with? Well, because most likely the other person in the relationship, they're flawed too. It's just the way it is. It's not a matter of choice, it's a matter of the way it is. So you do what you can. You deal with what you got. You pays your money and you takes your chances. But knowing that you're flawed really helps, because even while you're doing these ridiculous flawed things, you know that it's the flaw that's acting out, not necessarily you. Yeah, you're the one carrying around the flaw and you're the one spouting out all the BS, but it's the flaw that's actually running the show at this particular time. And then one can go back to an apparently normal, they might think you're normal. But like from the movie David and Lisa, David is talking to his mother, and she says, "What's wrong with him?" And he said, "Schizophrenic. Crazy." Love that scene. And that pretty much describes it in a nutshell. And so we have, Nikki and I, we have our ongoing saga of just being crazy, man. And maybe it'll get to a point where it no longer works out. Hey, these things happen. But we've got a pretty good chance of it continuing on after, the dust settles. Because when it comes right down to it, hey, we forgive each other because, well, we understand we're both flawed. And we're actually glad to have each other as friends because well, there's not all that many people around flawed like we are. If there are, they aren't easy to find. So anyway, my mea culpa to Nikki, my apologies to Nikki for, what I've done and will continue to do, because just because I'm making a tape about it doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. Oh, it's going to happen again. Either I'll do it by myself and just be flawed, or I'll continue on with Nikki, and both of us will be flawed. And, well, we'll just walk down that road as it comes by. It's been nice talking to you folks. Treat each other well, hopefully better than flawed people do. We're going to go back out with the Everly Brothers now. Everly Brothers. With problems.
Solve my problems with the love that's true.
Bye, Nikki. Hope you're well.
Problems, problems, problems all day long.
Okay.